30 and 30 Club, welcome back to another episode of the Who Dat Chat. Today, we're going to be going over the Saints 2024 season in review. We're going to get looking into the 2025 NFL Draft, and we are going to discuss Mickey Loomis and why I think he should be fired. But let's go to chat first. How is everybody doing today? How's your day going? My day is going swell, Alabe. It's good to see you. Good to see you in chat. 1 second. That's good. Controls. Okay. Everything's good. We're all good. But what is going on today, guys? Hope everybody is doing well. Today's going good. Good to hear, Olave. I'm glad to hear it. But yes, today we are going to get into a little bit of a discussion about the Saints 2024 season in review. Fortunately, it was not the way we intended it to go, but unfortunately, it is probably what we had expected at the same time as well. Dating back to the last couple of years, watching Dennis Allen try to run this offense. And team as a whole. Sorry, got a little parched. But, let me move this out of the way too. But yes, today, let's get right into it. First off, biggest thing that we know, Saints went 5-12. Was not a good season for us. Wasn't a good season at all. First two games, I mean, obviously started off great. Just go from scoring 47 points, and then the 44 points, and then you go on a 7-game losing streak. You scored 91 points in 2 weeks. 91. And yet you cannot seem to muster any other wins except for beating Atlanta, beating Cleveland, and beating the Giants. You beat Carolina, you beat Dallas. Obviously, we expected to beat Carolina in week 1. I'm going to take my dog out, but stay on stream. Already, always good to hear, Olave. You guys have an enjoy your walk. I hope the New Orleans and Louisiana weather is treating you guys right. But yeah, as I was saying though, I mean, you go from scoring 91 points in 2 weeks, and then you go on a 7-game losing skid, where it ultimately ended for Dennis Allen, going into Carolina, losing 23-22. And, I mean, the Saints offense for the last... It might snow here on Tuesday. Jesus. In Louisiana? Okay, now I'm kind of curious about that. Before we get back in discussion. Now I want to know. Snow in Louisiana. You are not joking, yeah. Tuesday, it's supposed to be 32 degrees and snow. Holy shit. That is actually kind of insane. Snow possible in Louisiana. Huh. It's pretty insane, actually. But, yes. Like I was saying, though. After that first 2 weeks, you go and score 91 points in 2 weeks. You go score 12, 24, 13, 27, 10, 8, 22 in that 7-game losing streak. You lose Carr on that Monday Night Football game against Kansas City. And then, I mean, after that, it was just injury upon injury upon injury. You got Shaheed going down, having to tear his meniscus. You got Paulson Adebo, who got hurt in the Denver game. I mean, the Saints' injuries were insurmountable at the point where Dennis Allen had gotten fired as well. But at the same time, there was a good reason why Dennis Allen was fired. Before coming to New Orleans, the man only had 8 wins total as a head coach. And I understood, like, yes, after Sean Payton left, you wanted to hire a new head coach and everything in New Orleans. But Dennis Allen was not the guy. He showed you it in Oakland, and he showed you here again in New Orleans why he is not a head coach. He is not a good caliber head coach. Like, you had 8 wins, and you could have hired a ton of other people. I mean, at the time that they were looking for a new head coach after Peyton left, you had guys like Flores who were available. You had guys like Flores. You could have hired Brian Flores. Obviously, he had the whole legal dispute that was going on after he'd gotten let go in Miami and everything. But I would have taken Brian Flores at that point. Feels good out here. Good to hear. Good to hear. But yeah, you could have taken Brian Flores at that point. Yet you wanted to, hire within. You kept Dennis Allen. You go 7-10 his first season. You barely go 9-8 his second season. Just missed the playoffs, and you give him another chance. You give him a third year. I mean, not a second year, third year. The first 2 games, okay, I even got fooled. And we're not the only people that got fooled. When you score 91 points in 2 weeks, I mean, it doesn't matter the teams you're playing, it doesn't matter, anything when it comes to that. You're playing in the NFL. You're playing the elite of the elite. Like, these are professional athletes. There's a reason why guys barely make the NFL. But you score 91 points in 2 weeks. I got fooled. We all got fooled as Saints fans. And then you had the Philadelphia game. You lose 15-12. You're like, okay. Then you lose in Atlanta at the end of the game with a Younghoe Koo field goal. But then after that, it was just downhill after that. You had the 26-13. Mickey Loomis is a clown. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. 100%. Then it was just all downhill after that Kansas City game on Monday night. Derek Carr got hurt, and then we put in Spencer Rattler against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he looked good in that second quarter. I'll admit that. He did look good in that second quarter. They scored 27 unanswered points in the second quarter and still end up losing by 24 points. They lost 51-24 in that game. Then the Denver game on Thursday night, absolutely just shit wrecked, 33-10. Then the LA game, you're only able to score 2 field goals as safety, and you lose 26-8. And then the ultimate exclamation point right on top was the Carolina game. They lost 23-22. And then after that game, Dennis Allen was finally fired. They finally did something right in the front office, and they fired Dennis Allen. Then the Saints go on a 2-game winning streak. And then I also had a little bit of hope again. Then they lose to Los Angeles. Then they barely beat the Giants on a blocked field goal. Then you go on a 4-game losing skid. You lose all your last 4 games. And by the end of the season, the Saints roster looked like a glorified United Football League roster. For fuck's sake. They had Kevin Austin Jr. on the roster at that point, playing wide receiver for the Saints. He was in the UFL last year. He won with the Birmingham Stallions. I get it. Injuries are hard. You can't win with the amount of injuries the Saints had. But at the same time, there have been teams this year that shown you that injuries do not matter. Look at the Detroit Lions. Look at the way they're run. Yes, I get it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. But the amount of injuries they had on defense, and they were still able to go 15-2. We went 5-12. And there's a reason for that, too. And it's even before all the injuries this year. You signed Derek Carr to this contract. When, you could have gotten a bridge quarterback. Like, kept Jameis Winston. And, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I was getting a little angry. But, you signed Derek Carr to a contract that we can barely afford because our salary cap is shit thanks to Mickey Loomis. And I'm going to get in on that, too. I'm going to get in on that soon. But, you signed Derek Carr. And at first, okay, it's a little bit questionable. And then you see what you're going to get out of Derek Carr. You're not going to get a championship caliber quarterback. You're going to get a guy that can barely play a whole season. And mind you, he didn't play the Tampa game, didn't play the Denver game, didn't play the LA game, came back in the Carolina game, came back in the Atlanta game, he was in the Cleveland, the Los Angeles, and then he got hurt in the New York game. And then we played Jake Hayner for 1 half against Washington. Spencer Rattler came in, showed some flashes yet again. Then go into Green Bay, lose 34-0. Go up and play Las Vegas. Can't do anything there. Tampa Bay can't do anything there either. And now we're still stuck paying Derek Carr. And a bunch of other players that are either not on the roster anymore or their contracts have gotten restructured so much that we're still going to be paying them years down the line. Like, going into next season, I'm fairly certain, if I checked it correctly, we're going to be $57 million over the cap. That is 32nd in the league. We have no money for free agency. We don't even have a championship caliber team. We're spending way more money than half the rest of the league. And we can't do anything. We can't sign anybody in free agency. We're probably barely going to be able to pay rookies at this point. And this is what you're going to get. We're going to need a 5-year rebuild. Yes, we are. Legitimately. At bare minimum, 5-year rebuild. It's going to take at least 5 years. At least 5 years. And we only have one person to thank for this, and that is Mickey Loomis. Okay? After Breeze retired, after the 2020 season, after Breeze retired, Yes, okay. When Sean Payton was still there, I kind of understood, okay, restructure contracts. We'll start Jameis Winston. We'll see how we go with that. And then before the season starts, Michael Thomas is hurt. Looks like he might be out for, it said 8 weeks at the start of the season. Okay? Will Lutz got hurt, pulled his groin. So we had no Will Lutz for that whole entire season. And then halfway through that season, it realized Michael Thomas is not going to play at all in the 2021 season. But the Saints were still able to go 5-2 to start the season. And then Jameis Winston tore his ACL against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Halloween. And I remember watching that game, and I remember him tearing his ACL, horse collar tackle, just, freak accident. Tears his ACL, so Trevor Siemian has to come in. Trevor Siemian was able to finish out that game. We won that game. We went 5-2. And then after that game, we go 4-7. Or no, not 4-7. Jesus, I can do math. Oh, Jesus Christ. We go 4-6. My bad. Finished the season 9-8. Could have made the playoffs that year. Sorry, looking at my phone. Could have made the playoffs that year if the Rams had beaten San Francisco in the last game of the regular season. Yada yada. But either way, we would have gone into that playoff game starting either Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian at quarterback. I'm pretty sure it would have been Trevor Siemian. I'm pretty sure at the last game of that season, Taysom Hill suffered a Lisfranc injury against the Falcons to finish out that season. But we go 9-8 that season. Then Sean steps down. That should have been the point in time where Mickey said, okay, we are going to rebuild. We're going to blow the team up. Sell off whatever we can. Get ourselves underneath the cap. And just start a full-blown rebuild. What do? Restructure. And then they're going to hire a new head coach. And they hire within. They hired Dennis Allen. Dennis fucking Allen, going into that season, had 8 total wins in a 3 season stretch with the Oakland Raiders. 8 total wins. And that's who we thought was going to be the guy. We're like, okay, give the guy a second chance. Go 7-10 his first season. 9-8 his second season. And then goes 2-7. Starts the season off hot. Goes 2-7. Loses 7 straight games. And then they were finally like, okay, we're done. But now we're still sitting in a salary cap hell. $57 million over the cap. And we have one person to thank for that. And that is Mickey Loomis. But Mickey says, just because we're not getting the results that we want, doesn't mean we're doing anything wrong. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Imagine going to work one day and just being like, we're not getting the results we want. We're not making the money we need. We're not doing the job the way we're supposed to, but we're not doing anything wrong either. This is still a great roster, still a great team. Aging vets, salary cap hell, a quarterback that's never going to win you a championship, hasn't won a single playoff game. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You are not doing anything right. The Saints are a literal dumpster fire right now. We have gone back so many fucking years with this team. You have so many aging vets. You've got guys on the roster that are in their 30s. This is an old-ass motherfucking team with a roster that can barely hold its own self. You have one good wide receiver on your whole roster. Maybe 2 if you count MVS. But he was only in the back half of the season. But after Olave got concussed, you had basically no wide receivers. You're starting guys like Kevin Austin Jr., who last year was playing in the UFL for the Birmingham Stallions. You got Mason Tipton, Bub Means, MVS, Jawan Johnson, who was always hurt, Foster Moreau at tight end, Taysom Hill, who got hurt. And I get it. Like I said, the injuries were a lot. There was a lot of injuries going in towards the end of the season. But the difference between a good team, and a bad team is the roster that you still have. You have to have depth. The Saints have no depth. And even when they had their starters in, they're still not that kind of championship caliber team. Derek Carr is not the answer. That ship has sailed. The experiment is over. Derek Carr is not our quarterback. And I don't care if it takes the point where you need to send a team a first-round pick just to take Derek Carr's contract. You do it. Trade away the 9th overall pick. Do it at this rate. The Saints need to get him off the fucking salary cap. Because right now, this man is going to account for $30 million base salary. Just the base salary. But he's going to have a whole total cap hit in 2025 of $51 million. We need to trade players for picks. That's the problem, though. Yeah, we need to trade the players. Because we can't cut them. Because Derek Carr, dead cap hit of $50 million. Cam Jordan, dead cap hit of $23 million. Taysom Hill, dead cap hit of $17 million. Eric McCoy, dead cap hit of $16 million. Like, nobody's dead cap is less than their salary cap. Like Derek Carr, okay, it would be a difference in $1 million. His cap hit's $51 million. His dead cap's $50 million. So we'd save $1 million, but still be $50 million in the fucking hole. And mind you, we're also still paying for guys like Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore. Like, we have no room to improve, and we also can't get rid of half these guys because their contracts are still on our fucking books. Jameis Winston's on here. A.T. Perry, who's not even on the team. Like, what are we doing? This team doesn't even know what they're doing anymore. Mickey Loomis doesn't know what he's doing anymore, but he still thinks he's doing a good job. Please explain that one to me. Please. I would love to hear an explanation for that. This team fucking sucks. I love this team to death, but this team fucking sucks. And I've had the most optimism in the last 2 years. I was like, one day, okay, they might be able to turn it around. But when you're starting guys like Andy Dalton, Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jay Kaner at quarterback, and you're getting no results. You haven't had a single... I mean, the 5-2 start that we had in 2021 was the best quarterback play we had since Breeze retired. And that was with Jameis Winston. And that was with Sean Payton as his head coach. Like, Sean even knew that he needs to step away from this team. And I, honestly, at the time, I didn't understand it, but now I understand completely. I completely understand where he was coming from when he was like, okay, I'm going to need a mental break. Because he was able to pull off a 9-8 record with literally nothing that year. They had no Michael Thomas. Kamara was hurt a lot. Bring back Mark Ingram, which, don't get me wrong, loved that at the time. I thought it was nice to see Mark Ingram back on the team. But, you know, Marquez Callaway was like our number one receiver that year. Traquan Smith, just almost next to nobody's, having a revolving kicker in 2021. Yeah, Mickey Loomis is doing a good job. We're only $72 million in debt. Well, now with the restructure of Ryan Ramczyk, now we're only sitting at $57 million. But still, that's still $57 million. You have to figure out how to get under the cap. You're going to have to restructure all these contracts. Like, we're first in dead money, too, by the way. We're first in dead money. We have $48 million in just dead cap. Just fucking dead cap alone. We're third in active roster, sitting at $287 million. Like I said, mind you, there are teams that might be over the cap, but they're championship caliber teams. We're 5-12. We're fourth in the NFC South. Most likely the worst division in football, and we're in last place. We need to start over. Blow the fucking team up. Trade players for picks. Trade them for something. Fuck. Like I said, send Derek Carr in a first-round pick for a seventh-round pick to any team just to take his contract off the fucking books. This team is a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. We have no money, no room to improve. Like, we're barely going to be able to pay the rookies that we get in the draft. I mean, we'll get into that in a second because, Jesus Christ, we need to take a good look at our offensive line in the draft in itself. We need, because obviously Ryan Ramczyk, it looks like he's going to retire. It looks like that knee injury is going to take him out for his career, unfortunately. And even draft classes since the 2017 draft class, we've had next to nothing. Next to nothing in these drafts. Marcus Davenport in 2018 didn't do anything. Chris Olave's basically been our best first-round pick in the last few years. Okay, him and Talise Fuaga. Talise Fuaga was also a really good first-round pick. But overall draft classes haven't had a stellar one since that 2017 draft. And that was with guys like Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Alvin Kamara, Alex Anzalone, Trey Hendrickson. Those were all guys that were on our team at one point. Now Alex Anzalone, he's in Detroit. Looks like he's going to win a Super Bowl. Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks this year. Alvin Kamara, I mean, he's obviously still on the team, but I wouldn't even blame him for honestly going to be wanting out here soon. I know he just, signed a restructured 2-year deal, but I would get out if I'm him at this point. Ryan Ramczyk looks like he's going to retire. Marshawn Lattimore traded to the Commanders. Honestly, he also looks, after watching that Sunday night game between the Commanders and the Buccaneers, it does kind of look like Marshawn Lattimore is a little bit washed. I will not lie. But realistically, I don't really have any answers for what this team needs to do, other than they need to look at Mickey Loomis and this team as a whole. They need to look at Mickey Loomis and be like, this is your last year. Do or die. Cam Jordan stayed with the Saints even though we were losing and DA wouldn't play him. I have so much respect for Cam. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I have so much respect for Cam Jordan. And he's going to definitely go into the Hall of Fame. And obviously he's going to go into the Saints Hall of Fame too. But at the same time too, that's the problem you're looking at. You're looking at aging veterans that you're paying these restructured deals to, restructuring, pushing more money down the line. Like, it's got to end at some point. Like, this team is like literally it's going to be aging vets on 1-year minimum deals and rookies. Like that is going to be the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a retirement home. It's going to be for guys who are at the end of their careers who want to sign a veteran minimum deal that we can barely pay that too. Like I have no genuine answer right now for this team. Okay. That rant over. Now, obviously, looking into the 2025 NFL Draft, I've been looking at a few players I think the Saints should take a look at. Let me pull up my let me look at my notes real quick. So, obviously, we're picking 9th overall. And obviously, the first 3, maybe 4 teams, I think the first 3 teams all be looking at quarterbacks. So, Tennessee Titans pick 1, Browns pick 2, Giants pick 3. I think you're going to see Cam Ward go off the board at 1. I think you're going to see Shedeur go to Cleveland. And Giants are going to just take whoever's left at that point. But we pick all the way at 9th. And luckily for us, a majority of these teams are not really in desperate need for offensive linemen. Or if they are, we might be able to trade up with them. But I think at that 9th overall spot, we might still be able to get a good, decent pick in the bunch for offensive linemen. Let me... One sec, sorry. There we go. But there's a couple different names I was looking at the other day. I was looking at NFLDraftBuzz.com. 3 names I was really looking at was Calvin Banks out of Texas, Wyatt Millham out of West Virginia, and then Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Those are the big names I was looking at personally for myself, but in reality I was really looking at Josh Simmons. Obviously, I did hear that I believe he is injured right now. But you're talking about a guy that sits at 6 foot, 310. He's only 22 years old, and he has got a 5.15 40 time. And obviously, 40 times... Get the fuck off my screen. Obviously, 40 times really don't fucking matter at this point in time. I mean, obviously, if you're a receiver, yes, it does matter. But release time and everything like that, Like, Saints need to look offensive lineman, specifically right tackle. They need to find a person that can replace Ryan Ramczyk. Because our run game was next to almost non-existent this year. We were 14th in rush yards per game at 114.9. We're 23rd in pass yards per game at 205.2. Like, we need to have a lot better run game because nobody was fearing the run. And they were expecting the pass, and nobody could even fear that either by the time Derek Carr and Spencer Rattler Derek Carr was injured and had to play Spencer Rattler. Like, this team needs a lot. That needs a huge overhaul. But realistically, the Saints need to look at offensive linemen, especially in the first round. They got to rebuild this offensive lineman, make it young, make it, less injury prone than the way our normal offensive line has been looking. But anyway, biggest thing I think the Saints need to do, honestly, is it's do or die time for him this year. Either this team needs to have a really good draft class and either just misses the playoffs maybe one more time or makes the playoffs. Like, honestly, I don't even think at that point. I think at this point you need to make the playoffs. Next year, you need to make the playoffs or Mickey Loomis is done. That's it. That is where I'm sitting on it at this point. Gail Benson legitimately needs to sit down. If this team cannot make the playoffs next year, I don't care about injuries. I don't care about roster. I don't care about salary cap, anything like that. This is Mickey Loomis's own doing. If this team cannot make a playoff run or even just a playoff game next year or even a winning record at this point, they need to fire Mickey Loomis. They need to just get a complete overhaul in the front office. Find a new GM. Because right now, Mickey Loomis is not the answer. And I don't think he will be. I think legitimately this team and Mickey Loomis should just part ways. I think they should do it right now, honestly. But I'm just a fan. Obviously, I don't know how to run an NFL team. I don't know entirely what goes into it. I know a majority of what goes into it. But I don't know enough to say, like, I'm an expert. Obviously, I'm just a dude who's sitting here probably with, like, 2 viewers in his YouTube live stream talking into a microphone. But realistically, like, this team needs to fire him. Like, you can blame injuries. You can blame the salary cap. But this is all Mickey Loomis is doing. He's the one who wanted to bring in Derek Carr. He's the one who wanted to hire Dennis Allen. The Saints, they need... One big thing they need to hit on in this offseason, too, not only the draft class, is the head coach. I've stated it time and time again, and you've also seen it in my Madden 25 rebuild. I want Aaron Glenn. I want to have a good defensive team. I want Aaron Glenn as the next Saints head coach. Unfortunately, I don't know if they're actually going to go that route. I also read something earlier that might state that he might go, if he has the option, he will go with the Jets if that option is open for him, unfortunately. But realistically, I would want to see Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn be the next Saints head coach. But I think Ben Johnson's basically out of the running for the Saints. I don't think the Saints will even get a chance at Ben Johnson. But Aaron Glenn, I mean, I can almost tolerate Mike McCarthy, but anybody other than those 2 or 3. Oh yeah, I saw that. Joe Brady, I saw that we might get Joe Brady, might be the next Saints head coach too. Realistically though, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, or I can even tolerate Mike McCarthy, but if it's not one of those 3, then I'm already not looking forward to next season. Like, this team just hurts my fucking brain at this point. I'm not looking forward to next season. I'm not even looking forward to the draft at this point. I want to look forward to the draft. It's just so hard to at this point. Like, my optimism is running so thin with this team at this point. Like, I know it is going to be years upon years to try to rebuild and make this team somewhat competitive. But you're also in the worst division in football, and you can only muster 5 fucking wins. And you split with the entirety of the division, except for Tampa. You went 2-4 in the division. You beat Carolina in week 2, and then you beat Atlanta after you had fired Dennis Allen finally. But you went 2-4 in the division. This team is just so bad, and I can't reiterate it enough. I'm happy for the chances of snow here. Hey, I'm so used to it. You can go right ahead and have it, Alave. But realistically, I mean, until this season's over, until we get through the playoffs, I realistically have not much else I can really speak on about this team. I kind of just went on a gargle or jumbled rant and everything, and just expressing how I'm feeling. I think I just want to relax and enjoy the rest of this stream. We'll just hang out, we'll talk, we'll just we can discuss this weekend's games. I just need to get that off my chest. But yeah, going into next season, it is Mickey Loomis's last shot. This is his last chance. Like, I would tell him right now, if this team cannot make a playoff game, I don't care about winning. You can have a winning record. If you're not in the playoffs next year, fire Mickey Loomis. Okay, rant over. Let's just hang out. Because, yeah, that only took me 30 minutes to get through that whole entire rant. So, yeah, I think you guys got the gist of what I think of this season was. It was a dumpster fire. It was a throwaway season. You have 3 bad quarterbacks on the roster. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe Spencer Rattler. Are you streaming Bills and Ravens? I forgot. Yes, I am streaming Bills and Ravens on Sunday, and we're doing Commanders and Lions tomorrow. I'm not sure about the Pokemon stream tomorrow at this point. I might still be doing it, but I also just still have to go run a few errands tomorrow. But yeah, definitely Detroit and Washington tomorrow, and then we're doing Buffalo and Baltimore on Sunday. One sec, sorry. People are just sending me funny videos.
Oh my god. It's Aretha Franklin. Oh my.
I think you should run the errands and not do the first stream so you don't have to rush. Like I said, I'll see what time I have in the morning. Even if I have to cut the stream short by an hour, I mean, I still want to be able to get as much content out as possible, obviously. Like I said, doing all these live streams during the rest of the season, it's going to be kind of hard for me to make full-length videos. That's also kind of why I had said I was going to do this as like a video, but I was like thinking about it tonight. I was like, I really don't want to play Madden. Like, I don't want to get everything set up for a Madden game. I kind of just wanted to sit and hang out, kind of talk about it a little bit, and then just stream for the rest of... one sub away from... Yep, I saw that earlier today. I saw that I'm at 99 now. Yep. We are one sub away from 100. Yes, indeed. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway if we do when we do hit 100, but I'll have to figure that out. I might give away one of these New Orleans shirts when we do hit 100. But we'll see what happens when that comes around. Yeah, I might do one of these shirt giveaways. But yeah, I'm very excited to, be so close to 100 right now. I mean, my ultimate goal by the end of the year, I want to be at least to 150 by the end of the year. Like, I'm not gonna set some astronomical goal of like, oh, I want to hit 1,000 subs in a year. Like, I'm perfectly content if I can gain 51 more followers for the rest of the year. Like, obviously, I would love to hit more than that, but, like, that is, like, my baseline goal for this year is to at least hit 51 more subscribers by the end of 2025. But, yeah. And then some exciting news, too. I'm going, and I got a tattoo appointment next Friday afternoon, so I'll be getting a new tattoo, so that'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be, like, a 3-hour session, so... I'll definitely post a picture of that on the community page on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm gonna play college football with my cousin later. Nice. Yeah, this stream I might honestly wrap up at around 9 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure yet. I am still kind of tired. And I didn't expect my rant to go that short. I expected to be saying a whole hell of a lot more. But like I said, I'm also kind of tired in itself too. But, yeah. Let's preview the matchups for this weekend, though, too. I have my teams that I want to win, and then I also have my teams that I think... I have my teams that I want to win, and then I also have the teams that I'm more likely than not know are going to win. So, yeah. Kicking off first, obviously we have the Texans and Chiefs tomorrow. Your rant had everything in it. I mean, there's only so much you can honestly talk about when it comes to the Saints right now. It's the same story. It's been the same story for the past 5 years. Restructure. Either, obviously we had the small playoff run in 2020 where we lost in the divisional round to the Bucks. Breeze retired, and it looked like the Saints were starting good in 2021. Like I had said, they started 5-2 with Jameis. Jameis got hurt. They had to start Trevor Siemian. They had to start Taysom Hill. They went on a losing streak. They barely went 9-8. Just barely missed the playoffs, and then Sean Payton needed to step down. And at the time, like I said, I didn't understand it. Now I completely do. This team's a fucking dumpster fire. But yeah, so obviously tomorrow we start off at 4:30 with the Texans and the Chiefs. I would love it if the Texans would win this game, but obviously I do believe the Chiefs are going to win, but I'll be rooting for Houston in this one. Commanders Lions, which we will be covering tomorrow. I want the Lions to win. I also think that they are going to win. Eagles Rams. I'm rooting for the Eagles in that one. Fuck the Rams. I hate the Rams. We all know why. If you're a Saints fan, you know why. And then Ravens Bills. I don't care. Honestly, if I'm being quite honest, I genuinely don't care who wins this one. Ultimately, I want the Lions to win it all. Or just somebody new to win it all. Also not the Bills, though. Or the Ravens. The no call. Yes, exactly. And obviously I can't blame it all on the Rams. Obviously that is on the refs. But even Nickel Roby-Coleman knew. You can go back and rewatch the play, but Nickel Roby-Coleman knew that he interfered with Tommy Lee Lewis. He was looking around for a flag himself, and then he's like, oh, yeah. And then he goes on a fucking live video and states, oh yeah, I know I smacked them around, but at least they didn't call it. And I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. But yeah. No, honestly, I'm really looking forward to this Commanders-Lions game tomorrow. I think this one is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I think you're going to see two teams that will not punt on fourth down. Two high-flying offenses. Two defenses that are, generally decent. I mean, obviously, the Lions have been a little banged up this year, but getting Alex Anzalone back definitely put some juice back in that offense. Or in that defense, my bad. But I think this might be the game of the weekend. Either that or Ravens-Bills. I think the other two are honestly just going to be one-sided affairs, unfortunately. I think the Chiefs are going to blow out the Texans, and I think the Eagles are going to blow out the Rams. But only time will tell. We will find out soon enough. But yeah. Also, this Bills-Ravens game, Jesus Christ, this is going to be like almost like in the single-digit degree weather for this. It's not looking like it'd be a fun game to either play in, go to, be at the stadium for any reason whatsoever. It looks like it's going to be an absolute fucking shit show, weather-wise. But yeah. Bills Ravens would be my favorite game of the year. As long as this one isn't like how it was on Sunday Night Football early on in the season where the Ravens absolutely fucking stomped the Bills. But I think this one being at home for Buffalo and in this weather, Derrick Henry has never played in temperatures this cold, and neither has Lamar Jackson. And it's also playoff Lamar, who tends to not really be the best when it comes to winning in the playoffs. But we will see. I genuinely think it's going to be Chiefs-Bills in the AFC title game, and then I think it's going to be Eagles-Lions in the NFC title game, which obviously we will cover both of those on the Sunday that those games are on, and then we'll be covering the Super Bowl. For the Pro Bowl weekend, I'm trying to figure out something that I want to do for Pro Bowl weekend. I'm not covering the Pro Bowl. I'm not covering people playing flag football. You can get out of here with that. But we'll find something. We'll find something to do on stream for Pro Bowl weekend, and we'll do Super Bowl Sunday, and then from there on well our Friday and Saturday streams will stay the same. Sundays might either be we might either stream in this type of capacity where we'll find a topic to talk about, or I'm gonna start recording, editing, and uploading videos and make that a Sunday. Make that designated for Sunday. So we'll do 2 live stream days, and then we'll have a video day on Sunday. And then I might be able to get another one out throughout the middle portion of the week. But for right now, as it stands, we'll be streaming Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays as usual. Probably, we might get a 4th streaming day in, depending on my time and my availability. But we'll figure that out as we'll figure that out when the time comes for it. I'm thinking next Friday, if you are available though, Olave, I'm thinking that maybe me and you can do another college football playoff stream if you want to do that next Friday, which I believe would be the 24th. Let me look. Whatever. Let me look at my phone then. Yeah, so next Friday the 24th, if you want to, Olave, we can do... Okay, yep, woohoo, college football. Yep. So next Friday we'll make that a college football live stream. We'll go one-on-one against each other. And then... Yeah, I still have college football till then. Okay, good. So that'll be the stream for next Friday. Saturday we'll do a Pokemon stream. We might even do... PS Plus. I figured that's what you meant. So next Friday we'll do college football. We'll do the Pokemon stream Saturday morning. We might do like a Saturday night kind of like hangout stream, I guess, kind of like this again, except minus the whole ranting about Mickey Loomis. We'll kind of just sit and hang out, see if anybody wants to come hang out. You know, go through old footage maybe. Maybe I'll go rewatch some all 22 footage on stream. And then next Sunday, obviously, will be the AFC and NFC title games. We'll cover both those in the same day. And then, yeah, we'll just have to go from there and try to figure out a more consistent schedule when it comes to uploading videos, live streams, and try to figure out topics to talk about so we're not kind of... Like, this was like a spur of the moment wanting to do this video instead of doing Madden. So I wasn't 100% prepared, and I do apologize for that. I apologize for the lack of I don't know. I just don't feel like this was a really good. I personally, like, I'm a perfectionist, so I do not think this was a really good quality stream. I feel like this was kind of just thrown together with some Scotch tape and hopes and dreams at this point. But if I can at least entertain any of you, if you were at least entertained by this this live stream, then I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. But yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna end stream here in just a second. I'm honestly kind of just beat, and I just feel kind of off tonight. So I'm sorry for such a short stream tonight. This is one of my favorite streams because of it just being a laughing and chill stream. Yeah, and like I said, next time I'll be more prepared, that we have something to talk about too, and we'll just be able to sit and hang out. But like I said, I don't know what it is today. I'm just feeling kind of off tonight. So I hope you don't mind that I'm gonna end stream here in just a second. But we'll be back tomorrow, obviously, and I'll be more lively and ready for tomorrow's stream. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for tonight, guys. I'm sorry this was such a short stream. But yeah. But if you guys do like what you see, comment, like, subscribe. And for anybody that's new to the 30 and 30 Club, I'm Mr. Saint. 12 and 5. This is the 30 and 30 Club on YouTube. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our doubleheader stream. Have a good night, everybody.